Ever wondered what an HBCU is? Well, allow us to illuminate the subject. HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities, a term coined in the Higher Education Act of 1965. This act defined an HBCU as any accredited institution established prior to 1964 with a principal mission to educate African Americans. To understand the significance of HBCUs, we must travel back in time to the mid-19th century, to the tumultuous era of American history, marked by the Civil War and the abolition of slavery. In 1854, Ashman Institute, now Lincoln University, was founded in Pennsylvania. This was the first institution of its kind, designed to provide higher education to African American men. Following the Civil War, the establishment of HBCUs accelerated. The Freedmen's Bureau, a government agency created to aid freed slaves, played a crucial role in this. It helped launch several HBCUs, including Howard University in Washington, D.C., one of the most renowned HBCUs today. Fast forward to the 20th century. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 outlawed segregation, granting African Americans access to all public universities. This posed a new challenge for HBCUs, as they had to redefine their role in a newly integrated educational system. Despite the challenges, HBCUs persisted and continued to play a vital role in American society. Today, there are over 100 HBCUs across the United States, ranging from liberal arts colleges to comprehensive public universities. They represent a mere 3% of higher education institutions, yet they produce nearly 20% of African American graduates. These institutions serve as a beacon of hope, resilience, and excellence. They are committed to fostering a sense of community, nurturing talent, and promoting leadership among African American students. They provide an environment where students can explore their identity, heritage, and culture while receiving a quality education. Furthermore, HBCUs have made significant contributions to society. They have produced a host of prominent alumni, including civil rights leaders, acclaimed scientists, and renowned artists. Not to mention the United States' first female vice president, Kamala Harris, is an alumnus of Howard University, an HBCU. For those interested in learning more about HBCUs or considering attending one, HBCUconnect.com is a valuable resource. This website serves as a hub for all things HBCU, providing a platform for prospective students to connect with alumni, faculty, and fellow students. It offers a wealth of information on HBCUs, including admission requirements, scholarship opportunities, and campus life. In summary, HBCUs are more than just institutions of higher learning. They are a testament to the resilience and determination of African Americans in their quest for education and equality. They continue to uphold their mission, fostering a sense of community among students and contributing to the diversity of the American education system. So, the next time you hear the acronym HBCU, remember the rich history and profound impact of these institutions. They are not just historically black colleges and universities, they are beacons of hope, resilience, and excellence in higher education.
We represent
For more than a century, Black Greek organizations have made their voices heard on college campuses and in communities across the country.
Well, the founders of these organizations, they understood that the pathway forward for us was together, through unity.
House Democratic Caucus Chair Hakeem Jeffries joined Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity at the age of 18.
And it really was the first time in my life that anyone of importance and authority suggested to me that they saw some leadership qualities and attributes within me, and it's a moment that I've never forgotten.
Moments like that, shared by many in the Divine Nine, the 9 Black sororities and fraternities that comprise the National Panhellenic Council. Vice President Kamala Harris has been outspoken about the impact her sorority has had on her.
And along the way, you find people who help you become your true self. For me, that was my beloved Alpha Kappa Alpha sisters.
In an election cycle marked by historic historic first. It's hard to ignore the role these organizations have played. Georgia elected its first black senator, and America sent a black woman to the White House, both members of the Divine Nine.
When I look at what Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and other members of the Divine Nine are doing now, we're seeing that they are dedicated to voter education, mobilization, and participation. We're also seeing that even during a pandemic, the service never stops.
Groundbreakers and trailblazers have always, in so many different ways, been connected to the Black fraternity and sorority organizations, including the great Shirley Chisholm, who was a proud member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
I have always been a catalyst for change.
The founders of these organizations, or they perhaps could never have envisioned that one day we would ascend to the highest levels of power and authority in the land, including within the Congress and now the White House. But I certainly know they dreamed it and believed that they were laying a foundation for great things to occur.
But because of my HBCU and Divine Nine family, I know I'm never the only person who looks like me or has had my life experiences.
Even today, we are 113 years after our founding. That is a strong legacy, and we're still able to see the ways in which the United States does not treat all of its citizens equally. Have they gotten better? Definitely. They have definitely improved from where they were 113 years ago. But can they be improved? Also, yes. We are passionate about the same issues within our communities, within the world at large, and we work together in order to achieve common goals. And if that isn't family, I don't know what is.
A family that will remain rooted behind members as they embark on their barrier-breaking journeys.
The first Black Supreme Court Justice, Surgeon General, and Vice President of the United States have more in common than making history. They all attended an HBCU. An HBCU is any historically Black college or university established before 1964. The principal mission of the schools was and is to educate Black Americans at a time when access to higher education was inaccessible for most. Even though historically Black colleges and universities represent 3% of all colleges and universities, they produce 20% of all Black college graduates in the United States. Today, there are 101 HBCUs located in 19 states, Washington, D.C., and the U.S. Virgin Islands. 70% of Black dentists and physicians, 80% of Black judges, and 25% of all Black STEM degree holders earn degrees from HBCUs. HBCUs have always been open to students of all races, and they've gotten more diverse in recent years, with non-Black students making up 24% of HBCU enrollment in 2018. While some HBCUs are thriving, many are facing hardships. Rising college costs, federal budget cuts, and the student loan crisis are deeply affecting HBCUs, where most students are low-income and first-generation college students. Since 1997, 15 HBCUs have had to close their doors. In 2019, Morehouse College, an all-male HBCU in Atlanta, made history when billionaire Robert F. Smith announced he would pay off the graduating class's student loans. The Biden administration has promised to pledge $70 billion towards HBCU funding.
All month long, we have been celebrating Black History Month, and this morning it's all about the Divine Nine, the historic Black fraternities and sororities, and those are just some of our own ABC family members that you see who are part of the Divine.
That is quite a crew right there. Yeah. And we have a performance coming up by students from Howard University. They're going to show us the Unity Step. It's a hallmark of the Divine Nine, but first, DeMarco Morgan, who's a Kappa from Jackson State, shares more on history.
For more than a century, Black Greek letter organizations have been a rooted source of pride on college campuses.
What is a Delta? What is a Delta?
A power echoed in our chants and felt in our steps. Founded at a time when racism and discrimination plagued higher education. The 4 sororities and 5 fraternities that make up the National Pan-Hellenic Council, also dubbed the Divine Nine, unite under a collective purpose: scholarship, service, and the power of community.
They understood that their individual, education was not enough. They had to actually work as a group to lift up people. The Divine Nine kind of encompasses that whole ethos. When we set our mind to something, we're going to get that something done.
And from the corner office to the box office, the football field to the hill, Divine Nine members have been doing just that, all while standing on the front lines of change and the corridors of power.
We are in different areas of the business. We understand if we come together collectively, we have an obligation to serve the community, and most importantly, serve Black people. And so we understand that when Black people wins, America wins.
My own journey to Kappa started back in 2000 on the campus of Jackson State University. There, I was uplifted and taught the true meaning of achievement in every field of human endeavor. These lifelong commitments are a reflection of the day-to-day work these organizations carry out throughout college campuses and communities worldwide.
And our thanks to DeMarco. And if you notice, I'm wearing pink and green this morning because these are the colors of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the sorority my dear mom pledged at Howard University, and I was blessed to recently become an honorary AKA, and that's Mama there on the campus at HU.
There she is, and we are joined now by students from your mom's alma mater, the Divine Nine, the university's Divine Nine. Thank you all so much for being here, for sharing with us the steps you will. I want to start asking you, Naya, you're the Divine Nine, such a presence on campuses. What has it been like to be a part of a sorority? How big is that a part of your college experience?
Yes, so sisterhood has obviously been something that I've gained, but I've also loved being able to serve in a capacity with things like this. I really love the arts and being able to give back to the community in ways that I was able to receive things from a young age, and to be able to receive mentorship from my big sisters. That's something that I really value in this life and being in my sorority.
Isn't it great to have that immediate family?
Yes,
I just love that experience.
Can I get a ski-wee? Can I get a ski? It's like looking at my mama and my dad, because my dad was a Q-Dog at Howard University, as are you, and it is about this every generation and the tradition, and your legacy too, aren't you? What does that mean to you?
It means everything to me. So, my family's legacy in this fraternity started with my dad on the campus of North Carolina A&T in 1989. This past spring, I was initiated at Howard University, as well as my brother. He was actually initiated in on Hampton's campus this past spring as well. So long before we were all members of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, those two guys were my best friends, you know what I mean? So now that we're all members of the greatest fraternity in the world, our bond has somehow gotten even stronger. So simply put, it means everything to me, and it's something that I'll covet for the rest of my life.
Truly a family affair. Yeah, you cherish that.
Yeah.
Tell folks what they're about to see.
So you all are about to witness a unity step. Usually we all in our specific organization step with our brothers and our sisters, but today we like to come together and showcase the Divine Nine, and we're all going to do a step together, but also showcase our individual style from our organizations as well.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's awesome.
Okay, I mean,
Thank you.
It's standing room only here in the studio right now. You can't even see it because we've all been waiting all morning long for this unity step, and you're about to see just how powerful it is, right? All right. Bring it. Let's do it.
Set. EBHC. On. Steve, blue. said ole, ole, I said ole, ole. Ay, 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 ay.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much, because you all have a unique step, but you came together, the unity of the Divine Nine. You look just like my mom. I mean, when you would do that, because and Daddy used to do that too. He even had the brand.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Unbelievable.
It is, and we want to thank everybody from Howard University, everyone who participated all month long in our Black History Month coverage. And we want to take a look. Can we look at the mural one more time here in our studio? It's been there all month long, and we're happy to share that a portion of the painting's proceeds will go towards charity. And you can find out more about the artist Georgie Nakima on her Instagram at Garden of Germany. Garden of Journey. Did I say that right? Yeah.
You did.
Okay.
You got it.
Great.
You got it. Guys, thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
It's been a true pleasure. I am waiting for the time where we can speak about things that are historically Black without apology, without qualification, where they can just be considered as part of the whole.
HBCUs gives us the opportunity to say that being Black is okay, doing what you want to do is okay, being great is okay.
One is often reminded that there are generations that came before, and that because there are generations that have come before, you can study, you can learn, you can push beyond what the world expects of you.
Whether you went to Howard or Texas Southern, Hampton, wherever school you went to, we're gonna look out for each other.
You are walking into a family setting, so we take care of each other. That means if I only got 2 swipes on my cafeteria card, you gonna get my other swipe.
HBCUs to me really embody the legacy of excellence, of intelligence, of community building, and of advocacy for ourselves and for our people that it just doesn't exist at other colleges.
The very first HBCU was Cheney University in Pennsylvania. Then Lincoln University was the second one. They were the first degree granting institution. I know Shaw University was the very first HBCU in the South.
What I have experienced through HBCUs is that failure is not an option. Professors expect excellence out of the students, and that really shows up in the way that they work with the young people in the classroom, the way they work with the young people outside of the classroom, the expectations that are conveyed in orientation.
I've heard a ton of stories about people who had 2.0 and 880 test scores and say that they went to schools like Lincoln and Morgan, and they say that those schools gave them a chance when no other school told them yes.
Having the nurturing learning environment of a HBCU campus, having teachers that are invested in your success, having administrators that you can look up to in positions of leadership and in positions of authority that you may not always see outside of the HBCU environment. I think that's really powerful.
Your teachers care about you. Your teachers love you. They want the best for you. The lunch ladies want the best for you. You know what I mean? This is a family setting to take advantage of all the support that should be given, because a HBCU support is different.
I feel like we can go to any school because
we can't just, like, trying to limit ourselves to HBCUs won't help, like, us going around the world everywhere.
Many of the young people that I interact with, I will recommend that they consider applying to an HBCU. They often hear that as I have to go to an HBCU, and I say, no, this is really right now, this is about having a list that is broad enough so that in the spring, when you're making a decision, you have as many options as possible.
When my son was going through the college process, there was never a mention of any HBCUs. There's CUNYs and SUNYs, and that's fine, and predominantly white institutions, and that's fine as well. But I feel like we have to, if we're gonna present students with the entire picture, let's do the entire picture. You can't not include HBCUs.
To any current high school students that might be watching this, even though I'm always gonna be 100% go to a HBCU, I know that HBCUs are not for everybody. And that's just the honest truth. Like, I'm not gonna bash you because you wanna go to Harvard or Princeton or NYU or something like that.
Us going to more places and us being more surrounded and things help other people understand that Black people are just people.
The Black community is not a monolithic community. There are people from all over the world who attend HBCUs. There are people from all over this country who attend HBCUs. Different religions, different beliefs, different orientations, and it's an opportunity to expand your knowledge about self, your knowledge about other folks, and your knowledge about academics.
Don't sleep. Like, I took my son, he just graduated from high school. He's going to an HBCU, shout out to VSU. I took him on a tour of North Carolina A&T, and I saw a lot of white students, you know? So I think that when people try to tell you that our schools aren't relevant or we aren't important, it's like, really though?
I hear a lot of different things from the young people I work with who are thinking about going to college. Some of them are indifferent about HBCUs. Some of them are solidly against HBCUs, perhaps because of information that they've received and not fact-checked.
I think it's also about setting the record straight, because I think if you run into people who want to tell you what they think they know about HBCUs and you'll find out they don't know a lot. There's a lot of misconceptions.
Some of the stereotypes of HBCUs that I often hear, in fact, I just heard last week, include not being strong academically, not having the resources, infrastructure, or physical plant that provides someone with a comfortable higher ed environment, being a party school. There's some of the stereotypes, and you know, there are racist underpinnings to all of those, I believe.
I've been told throughout my whole entire high school career that HBCUs give bad financial aid, which is not true all the time.
HBCUs aren't the real world. A lot of people believe that, you know, that there's no diversity there and that, you know, that's just not a realistic way to go to school or whatever the case may be. And I just think the opposite. I think it's the best way to go to school.
That was one of the biggest misconceptions I had to face was, there's no culture, it's just being Black, like we're basic and we're not.
Or that everyone is the same.
The one thing that HBCUs do is they allow you to be a full person when you're in college. So people are now seeing HBCUs as an option where they can like just be a student and just go to school and not be like the one kid when they're talking about slavery, they're like, hey, what you think about slavery? You know?
The young people we talk to are experiencing otherness in a palatable way that they haven't in, you know, the past 10 to 15 years. And because of that, I think that there is much more awareness about HBCUs as an educational option.
And a lot of young Black people are like, I want to go to school and not get poisoned by my roommate. And I want to not get arrested because I'm taking a nap in the library. And so I think for a lot of people who thought HBCUs were like, you know, not a viable option, they're now seeing it as, oh, I can actually be safe. Like, it's now becoming a safety issue to attend an HBCU.
What troubles me is if a young person is choosing an HBCU because they want to get away from. And HBCUs does not exist for the purpose of sequestering a young person from the challenge of being other in this community. That's not the role. It's not a fair way to think about higher education.
Me personally, being around people that look like me, I feel more empowered about myself. And I feel like when I graduate, I'll know more about myself and my placement in this country, in this world, as a woman of color, especially being in STEM, that I can walk out and I'm like, I know what I'm doing because of my HBCU.
Accept who you are. Be accepting of you. And in all your quirkiness, all your radicalness, and embrace that.
We are celebrating Black History at WCNC Charlotte. This week, we continue our discussion on education. We've been highlighting historically Black colleges and universities. Greek organizations are a big part of the culture at HBCUs. WCNC Charlotte's Aisha Scott has the story from Johnson C. Smith University.
The history of Black Greek letter organizations like the one I'm a part of, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, dates back to the early 1900s when African American students were excluded from Greek organizations on predominantly white campuses.
Black sororities and fraternity were created on the basis of exclusion, right? At some point, there were a group of Black men who were trying to be part of an organization and they needed votes. One white vote meant they couldn't be a part of the organization, so they decided to start their own.
Leland Howard is the president of the National Pan-Hellenic Council of Charlotte, an organization that brings all 9 Black Greek letter organizations together for one common cause.
We are able to work together to ensure that there's change in the community. We work together to ensure that policies and social policies are being pushed.
Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is the first Black Greek letter fraternity founded in 1906 at Cornell University. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is the first Black Greek letter sorority founded on the campus of Howard University in 1908. Also called the Divine Nine, these sororities and fraternities were founded on the principle of service, and it's a value that is still upheld to this day.
We're out in the community, we're helping with voter education, we're helping with healthcare education, homelessness, we're feeding the homeless, we're out collecting supplies.
Over the years, African Americans have joined Black Greek letter organizations for a variety of reasons. I turned to a few of my colleagues to find out their why.
My mother and my aunts are all members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and my uncle is a member of Omega Psi Phi. So growing up, I saw the service. I saw them being dedicated to giving back to their community.
My stepdad's a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, so that's all I ever knew. That's all he ever told me about.
The Sigmas, they helped me move in. They kind of sheltered me. They guided me. So it just in my head, I was like, well, if I was to ever, play, it would be probably that, because that's what stood out to me the most.
They kind of adopted me as a little brother as I came in as a freshman. And I just admired the respect that they demanded from the team and the respect that they got on campus. And it was something that I wanted to be a part of.
A part of organizations that often felt underestimated.
We enjoy being underestimated because when we walk into spaces and people have doubted us, we're showing beyond compare that we're ready, we're excited, and that we have been leading for a long time. It's just a matter of other people recognizing how great we are.
Reporting in Charlotte, I'm Aisha Scott for WCNC Charlotte.